Let's learn about photography and the rule of thirds. Allow me to introduce you to the famous Maryland photographer, Marion Warren. Marion Warren lived from 1920 to 2006. He's best known for his black and white photographs of the Chesapeake Bay and Maryland areas. He came to Annapolis in 1947 after serving as a Navy photographer in World War II. He had an eye for detail and composition and loved dramatic lighting. Some of his art is almost acting as a mural by having huge prints of his photos on the side of buildings. You can see them in downtown Annapolis today. Let's get a closer look and learn about some photography techniques with Marion Warren. Check out this photo by Marion Warren of a foggy day. These fishermen are getting ready for their day. You might have noticed that I put some vertical and horizontal lines on top of this photo to make it look almost like a tic-tac-toe board. The photographer name for these lines are called the line of thirds. These are guidelines so that a photographer can think about their composition of their photograph. Composition is the way things are placed in a work of art, and for this example, we're talking about photography. The most interesting places for things to be placed are along those lines, not in the middle. So you can see how Marion Warren placed the sailboat kind of on the right-hand side, not in the middle of the photograph, to make this photograph seem more interesting. Then you can see a lot of those boats in the background too. Check out this photo of this fisherman, or maybe he's a crabber, I'm not sure. He's ready for the day to catch whatever he's looking for. You can see those tic-tac-toe boards. The boat is right on that lower vertical line, and the horizon line's right on that top line. This photo is super dramatic of these really cool sailboats ready to go. Let's add those line of thirds. You can see that there's a sailboat on the left and a sailboat on the right. There's not one in the middle. That makes this photo very interesting and shows a lot of movement. In this photo, Marion Warren positioned his camera so that the ladies on the steps are to the left-hand side of the frame, and the gentleman is sitting down in the lower right-hand corner. Makes your eyes want to go up the steps so that you can see all the people in the photograph. Here's a boy in his net. Do you see where the line of thirds fall on this photo? Lastly, here is a more challenging photo to look at. These boats and the reflections are all framed within the line of thirds. The boats are in the upper left-hand corner, and the reflections come all the way down to the lower third of the photograph. Let's start creating our own photographs with the inspiration of Marion Warren. Okay, so what you're going to need for this project is a camera. These are some cameras that we have at my house. My cell phone, of course, and it has a camera, and a lot of digital devices have cameras, so that any of those would work. I also have this Polaroid camera that prints out photos, and then I have a big camera for other photography. So you're also going to need an object to take a picture of, and I've collected some random ideas. Could really be anything. I've got an apple, I've got a can of spaghetti sauce that we had spaghetti for dinner last night, and then I've got a flower, a plant, and a little sailboat that reminded me of Marion Warren. So he kind of, I think I'm going to use that sailboat to get kind of a Maryland-y picture today. You also need a clean space. So I'm using my kitchen table, my dining room table. Maybe you want to use your room or the deck outside, or a nice grassy area. Any of those things would work. Okay, let's get started. So I have my camera ready, and you can notice on my screen that there are some grid lines, and those lines are guiding lines for the photographer to use the rule of thirds when they're taking their picture. So it almost looks like a tic-tac-toe, and if you don't have this on your phone or your screen, there is probably a setting that you can do to get it on there, or you can use your imagination, just kind of mentally put a tic-tac-toe board on top of your photo screen. So my goal is for my sailboat not to be in the middle, but to be along one of those lines of thirds, because that's going to make it appear more interesting. So here I'm almost ready, getting it kind of lined up on that right hand side, that vertical line of thirds, and I'm going to tap it to focus, take the picture, and let's check it out. Looks good. And I kind of think that these chairs are a little bit distracting in the background, so I'm going to take care of those and I'll be right back. Alright, so I got the chairs out of the way, but just for fun, I kind of wanted to take a not so good picture, and just to kind of help you see the difference. Got my sailboat right in the middle of my camera, and it doesn't look bad, but it might not be as interesting as it could be. And I also have a little chair in the way, but you can see I've just got a lot of extra space, and it's not very interesting because it's the sailboat is right in the middle. So I'm going to try it again. Alright, so I'm all ready to get this picture looking really good using the rule of thirds. So I've got my sailboat, and I wanted to use my camera to position the object on 1/3 of the frame. And when we're talking about this, we're talking about composition, which means the position of the objects in a work of art. So I'm ready. I'm also going to try and line up, I've got these like designs on my wall. I'm also going to try and get that to line up a little bit using the rule of thirds. So tap it to focus. Let me get it right in place, and tap to focus. Hold it really still and take the picture. Cool. So far so good. Let me try one more, and it's almost time for you to try it. Hope you've had fun taking some great pictures with the rule of thirds. This principle is true for taking pictures of objects, people, and scenery. We didn't have a chance to get into editing or using filters, but I want you to kind of check it out on your own. I put a black and white filter on my sailboat today, inspired by Marion. See you soon.